right, item number 15. Reports on business from the City Council. Let's start with Councilmember Cleveland.
Yes, I missed attending the redevelopment successor agency meeting. I was counting fireworks from a booth that I had volunteered all week, and I had to be the inventory of that, and had a time frame on that, so I had to get that done. Other than that, the housing authority, um, we met this last week, and over at the new center, community center in Richland Housing, which, man, what a difference it actually has a commercial professional kitchen in it now rather than the home style for that. It can have it's no longer has spaces underneath the doors where the mice run in and out, which we had on more than one occasion happen during a meeting. It's excellent looking. The ADA units have been finished there, regarding 10 units that had to be put in there, single floor, so they are finished. And then we're in the process now of getting the final funding for the rest of the fourplexes and the multi-units there. I think there's 9 of them left, and we're looking at getting the funding for that. A lot of the legal definition between the city, streets and property and all that delineation has been finalized, so we can now move forward completely with any of the grants or funding that would be necessary to finalize Richland Housing. And the people actually enjoy living in there. At night they go on walks, and even in the dark, not fearing any problems in there. Very high quality security. Yuba City Unified School has a preschool inside of there, and they're expanding it. And people actually are in line, waiting in line to try to get into that one. Housing Authority is doing a good job.
All right. So, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Didball.
Okay, it's the summer months, so there were quite a few events going on. The cultural diversity event that took place down by the fountain. It was a beautiful event, sharing diversity amongst the entire community. Lots of artwork, dance, poetry, and it was just the entire community coming together. It was very, very hot, but we still had a good show there. LAFCO, that was a very short meeting. We had already reviewed the budget, so this was just a meeting to follow up and approve it, finalize that. Yuba Center Transit, going over just the routes with the small funding that we do have. We're trying to make sure that we're making the best decision and ensuring that those folks that have the greatest need are being covered. Let's see, we had the 4th of July Children's Parade, and that was really fun. Everybody in red, white, and blue, and kids are on their tricycles and wagons. That was a lot of fun. We also had the Women's Dance, which was put together by the Sutter County Literacy Program. It was at the Veterans Hall, and that was a beautiful event as well. And lastly, we had our Downtown Business Association, and we went to the board meeting to go ahead and meet our new officers there. So.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Gill.
Sure. 2 things. First and foremost is we did have the groundbreaking ribbon cutting for the levee work in Gridley for Sutter Buttes Flood Control Agency. And so I can proudly say that the work has started, and I know we're behind schedule. And I know that Nordic Industries is doing the best they can to get this work moved on quickly, 7 days a week, 24 hours. And all indications tell us from the reports from the National Weather Forecast that this is going to be a wet year. And people kind of look at us and say, yeah, right. But I'm one of those optimistic people saying, you know what, it's better to be ready. And it's kind of nice to see those levees being improved from what they were years and years ago, and just to feel safe. So if the rivers are going to rise, I can be rest assured that at least we don't have to worry about seepage and boils and breaks and stuff. Because if you haven't had a chance to go out and take a look and see how those levees are repaired and how that slurry wall is being placed in there, I would encourage each and every one of you to go out and get a tour of the levees, and it'll make you feel a lot more safer about our community than it has before. We had normal meetings with the Southern Beach Flood Agency, the Finance Committee, but things continue to move. In addition to that, I was challenged by the mayor of Marysville, Mr. Ricky Samoya, to do Dancing with the Stars. And so he did his on Friday, and all the monies raised went to the Ride Out Health Foundation over a 2-day period. From Friday and Saturday night, we raised a total of $120,000, which stays within this community. And I can honestly say yours truly, from working from practice from Friday or from February all the way to June, it was a lot of work. We had a lot of fun, and I'm proud to represent the city of Yuba City and won in all 3 categories. The most money raised that night, and plus the judges award, which on our final dance we got all 10s. So it's a nice bragging rights to have with the city of Marysville. So if any of you get the opportunity to do that, I definitely encourage each and every one of you to volunteer. And
So you don't have to do it again?
yeah, my thing is just one time. That's it. I can cross it off my bucket list. I've done it. It's a lot of fun, but it does take a lot of your time away and a lot of practice. So, but it's a great cause. Anytime you can raise money for good causes in our community, where the dollar stays here, and that's kind of what we need to do. So I enjoyed it. Those are my 2 deals for the month and a half.
All right. Now I've got a few things here on the list. You mentioned the Sutter Butte, so I'm not going to.
You're going to bypass me?
Oh, I apologize.
That's all right.
Vice Mayor Buckland, I guess we could let you give your report if you want to.
Okay. Well, I will.
Are you through now?
Yeah. Only because it was just yesterday that the tears in my eyes that welled up during Mayor Gill's dance routine, his final dance routine. I finally dried the tears of pride, and he did such an amazing job. He and his dance partner, Sammy Dake, had everybody in that place on their feet. It was incredible. He set the bar extremely high for the next person that may choose to try to step into his shoes. And all I can tell you is, if you haven't seen his dance routine, go online. You'll find it. I think it's been posted a number of times, but it was pretty remarkable. I did have an opportunity at the beginning of the month to make a presentation to U.S. Secretary of Transportation Anthony Fox, along with the Congress members Garamendi, Matsui, and Barra down at SACOG. I was selected to be able to speak for a very short period of time. My window, they gave me 3 minutes. I took 5 to speak on technology, and specifically as the chair of the Innovation Task Force at SACOG, they wanted me to have a discussion with Secretary Fox in where we are and where we're moving forward in regard to technology with transportation and some of the infrastructure that can be placed into our projects. It was an exciting outcome because all he could say was, think big, apply big. Spend time, plan it, and bring big projects forward because that's where their interest is at the U.S. level. I was also at a Sons in Retirement luncheon at the beginning of the month, where our own Diana Langley spoke, our Public Works Director spoke. She engaged 189 retired men in a very well put together presentation on a little bit of everything. She tread into some very thin areas, talking about the Fifth Street Bridge replacement and Fifth Street Bridges, the Bridge Street portion of that project, and they took a couple pot shots at her, but she did a very remarkable job with what, I mean, quite frankly, some of us that go to that luncheon can be a little curmudgeon-y, and so there were a couple of comments that were made, but she fielded them very well, had all the answers, the right answers anyway. Also attended a meeting with Supervisors Nicoletti and Griego regarding our regional waste contract. Specifically, it's with Recology. We're at a midterm, and so we had that meeting over at the Yuba County Government Center. Nothing was really forged except for some go forward negotiations with Recology as we look at the next 4 years and how services will be provided. Also attended the transit meeting. The one thing I can add to that is the Yuba City, Yuba College route there is more and more effort to be able to provide transit in Yuba City, Marysville to the Yuba City Center. That's the largest growing center within the Yuba College district, which is expansive. It covers quite a bit of real estate in Northern California, and they are looking at Yuba College at possibly applying a student fee that will allow students to be able to ride the transit system for a given student fee that would be applied at registration each semester that they're there. So that'll be all part of the Connect Card process if we move forward with that. Also following that, had the regional waste management meeting. Really nothing more than just routine business was taken care of during that. Went to the ribbon cutting for Buffalo Wild Wings. The only thing I can say about that is it's loud, it's big, it's fun, but it was built by a local contractor. They serve about 1,100 people a day right now in that location. So I don't think it's taking away from our local businesses too much. I was over on Plymouth Street the other night, and it's those businesses seem to be faring just as well as what Buffalo Wild Wings. So just another addition to our community.
Thank you for your reports. Apologize for overlooking.
Oh, no, that's okay. Right. Next time I'll write John.
Yeah,
at the top.
There you go. Perfect. Attended the Sutter Buttes Finance Sutter Buttes meeting, and then the media event that Councilmember Gill mentioned, so I won't belabor that. Also attended the Independence Day Parade on July 4th, and I guess it was it 3rd or 4th? It was actually on the 4th one, yeah. And I want to thank Chief Daly and his staff, and I think Brad McIntyre for helping to cook all the hot dogs this year and providing all that for us. It's great to see all the kids come out. It seems to me that grows each year. I don't know what our numbers are, but it's 800 hot dogs. So we had a good turnout. So excellent, and it's nice too. The Yuba Sutter Symphony comes and plays, and it's just really refreshing to hear the patriotic music in the downtown area there, and having all the kids there with their wagons and bikes all decorated up and dressed in their red, white, and blue. So it's a fun event. Also attended the Gilsizer meeting, which did some housekeeping on some employee issues. It was not overly significant. Attended the Yuba City Downtown Business Association's swearing in of the new officers this year. And also attended the mosquito vector meeting. I just wanted to give some numbers here on where we're at this year compared to last year. They track the mosquitoes in this area by different things: deadbird calls, mosquito pools, and sentinel chickens. And we're double this year over what we were last year in those categories. And so it's looking like it could be and last year was a high year for West Nile in this area. I just heard yesterday that we've had the first fatality in the state, which was up in Nevada City, I believe, from West Nile virus. So encourage people, when you're out in the evening, make sure that you have some mosquito repellent on. So, and the numbers, same thing in Yuba County, that they're double what they were last year. So it's important that we keep vigilant on that. Went to the Special Olympics final leg torch run in Marysville last Monday, and it was fun to see the Special Olympics torch running through the streets of Marysville and ending up at the gazebo on Ellis Lake. The RDA, or Redevelopment Authority Successor Agency, approved the state has approved our property management plan. We adopted that, and it will go back to them for final approval, and we should be getting that shortly. And then also attended the U.S. Conference of Mayors in San Francisco and met with mayors from across the country to discuss issues that we have in common. And it's nice to report that I think, compared to a lot of the other cities, Yuba City is doing very well. So, and with that, that's all I have to report. And unless there's anything else, meeting is adjourned.